your line of credit is good to go. You can use it starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I'm chasing the flames.
And listen, I got to go. I'm on call with this guy 24/7. Bye.
Hello, George. It's Jaime. I want you to do your surf and turf thing. You know, the thing you always do. But I want a special surf, George. You got that? Special. I want it French. You know, I got French picky clients coming in. They're very picky. And I want some scallops for the surf. You gotta fry them like you do, George. You know, fry them. So something French like coq au vin and fried scallops together. I think they'll love it. What do you think, George? And maybe you do some potatoes. Maybe deep fried potatoes. So they're nice and golden brown. And they're brown and delicious to go with that surf and turf with the special coq au vin. You know, it sounds so good. It sounds so delicious. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it, George.
Mountains bold, a mile high. The Rio mirrors a clear blue sky. Went to dance with turbulent weeds. Nights burn cold, my heart is free. I'm chasing the flames, chasing the flames. Chilies grow across green fields. Hot sun glows, the trees so real. Slicing, dicing with a flare. Anticipation in the air. I'm chasing the flame, chasing the flame. Surfing, turfing on the grill. Now there's a way, there's a will. Flavors bursting with delight. On call, create the perfect bite. I'm chasing the flames, chasing the flames. I'm chasing the flames, yeah. Chasing the
Hello, I'm the on-call outdoor chef, George Lovato. I'm surrounded by Kias today from Santa Fe Kia. Morley Fletcher up there is the CEO. Thanks, Morley. They look beautiful. We're going to do a lot of things on this show today, and it's all about techniques with Chasing the Flames. You all know that. We don't teach you what to cook, we teach you how to cook. So today we're going to sear, we're going to smoke, we're going to bake, we're going to braise, and we're going to fry, all in one show. So that's a lot of techniques to pick up, but you'll learn them all. We're happy to teach you. We'd like to tell you that this is easy, but some of these techniques take a little patience and a little bit of skill. And it's easy to practice. We're not cooking anything really expensive today, so if we mess up, we mess up. It won't cost us too much money. I want to encourage you to go to chasingtheflames.com and see our live web store now, where you can buy lots of cool stuff that I use on the show. We get emails all the time from all of you people watching that say, hey, where do I get that? Where do I get this? Hey, where did you find that? So now they're on the web store, so check it out at chasingtheflames.com. And you'll see the recipes, the blogs, and also all the episodes that we've created for you to teach you how to cook, not what to cook. So let's get started, Chasing the Flames. Hello, guess who we have as a guest today? My Obi-Wan Kenobi. Everybody's got a mentor or somebody. He watches over my career, it gives me good advice. Former lawyer, good businessman, that's real rare, you know. But I give him a hard time about it. But this is Chef Scott Clapp, and he was my first instructor. And he keeps an eye on me and tells me when I screw up, but I'm going to have him over more often now so he can watch when I cook on Sundays.
Fewer and fewer screw ups, right?
Fewer and fewer, exactly.
That's the teach. If you keep screwing up, then the teaching is not where it should be.
Yeah, exactly. So, Chef, take it away. Show them what we're going to cook here with a coq au vin.
All right, so today we're going to do a coq au vin. We're going to smoke it. So we're going to take some liberties with the original or the current recipe, probably way back to the original recipe, right? Because this is a rustic dish.
Very rustic.
France, they probably did it over campfires and around coals all the time. So we're taking it kind of back to its origins, I think. So first thing we're going to do is take some chicken. We got some thighs and legs, breasts in here. We're going to hit them in here. Sear this skin to get it nice and crispy.
Already seasoned.
Already seasoned, a little salt and pepper. Just pick salt and pepper, put it around there, rubbed it all in. We'll add salt a few times throughout the recipe. So, you want to layer that flavor up. So it's good to have salt here, salt there, salt everywhere. All right. This won't take long. This pan was nice and hot. Probably more, yeah.
Well, a little more oil in there.
Yeah, we'll just put a little bit of oil up here. So when you're searing something with the skin on, just be patient. People want to play around for too much. They want to keep moving things, but if we let it sit there, it's going to get nice and crispy. Then we'll just turn it over and we'll take it over to the smoker, pop it in over there for
30 minutes.
30 minutes or so. I think the smoker is running around 200, 220.
Somebody once asked me, what is the proper texture of a seared chicken skin? And you told me it should be stiff.
Yeah, it should have some crisp to it, right?
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is chicken's not fatty, but there's fat in the skin. So we're trying to cook that fat out. And when we do that, we call it rendering. It's going to crisp that skin up, and then we're going to have that nice texture. Especially important in a dish like this where we're braising it. So it's going to go into an oven, spend a lot of time there. We're going to lose a lot of that crisp, but because we rendered it out, it's not going to get flabby. That's what we want to try to avoid. Anything that it's got that kind of
get that
rubbery texture on it. So we're getting there.
And this was Chef's idea to attack this particular recipe with 3 different techniques. So we're searing, then we're going to smoke, then he's going to braise this. And a little history on the dish is that this was probably one of the first published chicken stews, if you will. And so it's a very old, like Chef said, very rustic dish. Some people called it a chicken stew in French. But it's a very elegant dish. That's one thing you could say about it when you're done. I mean, all these techniques.
Right, it's rustic, and when you present it, it's a beautiful, beautiful dish. I mean, it's full of red wine and mushrooms.
Who wouldn't like that, right?
Who wouldn't like that, right? Some brandy.
A lot of alcohol.
It's all cooked out. Most of it's cooked
Leave
out.
it to the French to use alcohol, and a lot of it.
All right, we're getting pretty good here.
Look at that.
Almost there on those thighs. So there's no skin on the chicken breast, so they're not going to get really super crispy. So that's okay. So we're going to put them up here where it's a little bit cooler and kind of let them just hang out. Move these down here where we can get really some of that nice heat. Quite a nice oven you have here, stovetop you have.
And don't you like this?
Yeah.
This is
nice
great.
and hot.
And you got room. The old one was a little too small, and we had 2 burners we really couldn't use because they were only 4,000 BTUs. And you're outdoors.
4,000 BTUs. You put your hand on those.
Yeah, I mean, it's a light bulb hot. I mean, you really couldn't cook with those 2 burners, and there was a lot less space.
Yeah.
And when we shoot these shows, we're cooking a lot, and usually we're cooking a lot of things at the same time.
I'm just gonna
Look at that. That's pretty. That's pretty.
Nice color on those. So the legs have skin on both sides, so we need to turn those a little bit to try to get that nice even doneness on them.
Yeah.
Through there, we got some nice, like that.
Yeah.
We're just about there.
Now, after you flip it, Chef, you're just trying to kiss that backside, right?
Yeah, we don't really
not
need to cook
cooking.
it here. We're going to cook it in the oven later, so we don't really need to get a cook on it. I'm just doing it so once it gets crispy, I don't want to burn the skin, so just kind of turn it over. Won't hurt it to rest here, but doesn't really add. There's nothing to render. There's no fat on that side of it. It's on the legs a little bit. Okay, so these are looking pretty good. There's always one, right?
There's always
Always
one
one
way
piece
behind.
that doesn't want to cooperate. Sort of like George was as a student. He cooperated.
But I was your fastest.
He,
Okay.
he did cooperate most of the time.
But I was your fastest.
You were fast.
But then I slowed down at the end of the semester.
Yes.
I told you I was slowing down.
So it's, one of the things I teach is you speed up by slowing down. Right?
That's
So
exactly the lesson.
You don't make those errors because you're really doing things right the first time.
And then the other tip that you gave me, you got rid of a bunch of my bad habits, but the one that you that had the biggest impression on me was when you put all your ingredients together, line them up in order as you're going to use them.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and it made everything run smoother. I wasn't looking around for this and that.
Because then you don't have to think so much. You just go to the next container. No, then you only think about, well, what am I supposed to do to this? Right.
Yeah.
So that's a lot different than going like, what am I supposed to grab? And maybe we can show them how we set that up a little bit.
Yeah, when we get that in there, because that's really important, especially when you're cooking. Like Sunday or Saturday, I did a 7-course meal. You saw the picture.
Yes.
Or Sunday rather, and it was critical that you be organized and ran the cooks and as they should be run. And so I did it by myself, 7 courses.
Yeah.
So, and I couldn't have done it if I wouldn't have.
What do we call that? We call it
Smorgasbord.
no process.
Process.
What do we call the process? Mise en place.
Mise en place.
All right, so I think we're about there. We got some nice crisp on these.
Looks
And
beautiful.
Beautiful. We can move over to the smoker. Again, that's going to take about a half hour or so. And then while that's going on, we're going to put the rest of the dish together. It should finish in the smoker, and everything else should happen about the same time.
Yeah.
If we have good mise en place.
Mise and out.
All right.
Looks good.
Smoker?
You betcha. Let me get my famous gloves.
All right, now we're taking this off from the sear. You can see we have a nice crispy skin. Now I'm gonna put a little smoke on it. Okay? That little something special that you don't usually see in this recipe. We're just gonna go put it on the smoker. And we're gonna leave it here for about 30 minutes or so, just to get a light smoke on it. Make it super interesting. You want your guests to go, I've had this dish, but I've never quite had it like this. And that's our superpower, right?
That's our superpower. Absolutely.
All right.
Got one
more. Sneaky one back there. Okay.
Away we go.
Well, now we have our chicken over there on the smoker. It's gonna take about 30 minutes or so. So while that's happening, we're gonna put the rest of the dish together. Then we're gonna marry that chicken in here and let it cook with some red wine and a bunch of veggies. But first, we're gonna start out with bacon, because bacon. All right. So we cut these in what we call lardons, which is basically a little strips, and you can hear that nice sear, nice crisp. And we just want to crisp it up, get it nice and crisp. Then we'll take the bacon out, keep the bacon fat, because bacon fat is kind of like gold, and we want to make sure that we use that to incorporate more of that smoky flavor in this dish. So bring the smoke from the smoker, bring a little smoke from the bacon, plus a little bit of that pork fat. Going to make a really nice base for our coq au vin. So just like the chicken, now I got it spread out. I'm going to let it just kind of rest here for a second. And as soon as I start to smell it and I'll see it start to crisp up, we'll stir it around a little bit. Then we'll get it out of there pretty quickly, because we don't want to burn that. You can see it's happening pretty quick. So just like the chicken skin we talked about rendering, same thing here. A lot of fat in here. We want to keep it crispy. This is going to go back into the dish. Once it goes back into the dish, we want to have a little texture on it. We don't want it to be chewy and fatty, just like we talked about earlier with the chicken. Wish you could smell it, right? Wish we could. When we add smell-o-vision, that's what we need. And you don't want to rush the process because you want to make sure you get that render on here without burning the bacon. So some people are always in a hurry. And you just really need to take your time, do things the right way so that you get a better result. If we burn all this bacon, what a tragedy. Okay, now we've got that bacon rendered. So now we're going to start to saute some vegetables. We got some carrot. We have that bacon fat in here. We got a lot of fat out of our bacon, so I think we're going to be okay. If it starts to look like it's a little bit dry, just throw a little bit of oil, olive oil on top of there. It'll be fine. We're going to let the carrot go just for about a minute, only because carrots cook a little slower than the onions. We don't want to burn the onions while we're doing this. So as soon as they start to soften up, we'll go ahead and add our onion. Yeah, those are looking pretty good. So we'll go ahead and add the onion. Stir that around. Some mushroom. And then we're gonna let these cook down. We're gonna let them get a little bit of color on them. Again, just like in the bacon and the chicken, once we get them settled in here, we're gonna let them just kind of hang out for a second. The tendency is always to want to do something. Sometimes doing nothing is something. So we're gonna let that cook for a second. Okay, so next step, we've got our vegetables going. They've got a little color on them. Now we're gonna add our garlic. We don't wanna add our garlic too early because it will burn pretty quick. So we go ahead and add it now, right before we kind of finish these steps up. A little bit of tomato paste, just for a little bit of acidity, bring it together, and then we're gonna have the real acidity in just a second. So we just wanna smell, get a nice aroma of that garlic. Once we smell that garlic going, we're gonna add a little bit of brandy. So this is gonna flame up, so just be careful in your kitchen. If you're afraid of the flame, you can move it off the heat, pour it in, and just let it cook down. It'll have the same overall effect, it's just not as showy. So some brandy, good amount, because we wanna have some nice flame. Woo, there we go. So that's gonna cook off most of the alcohol. When you cook alcohol, there is always a little bit residual in there, just so you know. But you can see the flame is still going. And now we're going to add some red wine. So about almost a full bottle of red wine is going to go in here. You see there was a little bit taken out. That's for the chef, because you want to cook with things that you want to drink as well. All right, so we're going to let that come up to a simmer. When it comes up to a simmer, we are going to add the chicken in it, which is probably just about ready to come off the smoker. And then we're going to go into this big old oven back here in just a few minutes. All right, so we just pulled the chicken off the smoker, left it on there about 30 minutes to get a nice little smoke on it. Our pot is simmering here with all of our aromatics, our veggies, our red wine. And we're just going to put our chicken in here. And as soon as we get it in here, we're going to move it over and we're going to let it braise in the oven. So what we want to do, chicken can be cooked and it's done. But in this case, we want to cook it until it's fork tender so that it's super luscious and really absorbs a lot of this red wine flavor and mushrooms while we're letting it cook. All right, so I'm going to try to get it down in here a little bit better, and then we're going to go over to the oven.
Chasing the flames, chasing the flames.
Hi folks, Morley Fletcher here, owner of Santa Fe Kia. You know, at Santa Fe Kia, we like the byline of Santa Fe Kia is where we treat you different. Some reasons why. I'm remodeling our facility to make it better for our customers. Our salespeople treat people with respect and the way they'd like to come and purchase a vehicle. That's why at Santa Fe Kia, it's where we treat you different.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Sous in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Let's get back to chasing the flames. Welcome back to Chasing the Flames. We got Scott Clapp here, my instructor from culinary school. Here's to you. Thanks for coming on, Chef. Appreciate that.
Great to be here again.
We've been working hard. We're dry, so a little beer never hurt anybody. But Chef has been very gracious in advising me on what to do with my chef career, if you want to call it that. But you know, as everyone knows, I had experience owning restaurants and successfully selling 5. Gail won't let me do 6.
That's probably good advice.
I think so. I think
You
so.
should trust her on that one.
You know, every once in a while she gives me really, really good advice. I think that's one of them. One of the things, Chef, that I think it's important, you know, there were a lot of students in our class that never really cooked before. There were a few of those, and then there were some very young students that were there. And, you know, it was kind of fun being the old guy in the room and looking at where all these people were in their lives.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, how fun. And, you know, I think it's important that we share with the audience, what can you do when you're a chef? What are your options out there professionally?
Wow. I mean,
That's a big one, isn't it?
They're endless, right? I mean, everybody eats and most people don't cook. So there's any way that people get food cooked for them, you can do, right? So I'm a teacher. You're doing a TV show. Those are two, maybe a slightly unusual career paths. But after that, you can cook anywhere. I have students that are own their own restaurants, that are executive chefs, sous chefs, line cooks in restaurants. But that's only scratching the surface. Retirement communities. There's, you know, as we get older and older, they put us away someplace. But I don't know about you, but I'm hoping to eat quality food as long as I can. So there's a lot of jobs in that part of the industry. If you're on the airplane, you know, if you're flying
an industrial
flight,
chef.
You have all that catering, industrial catering. Mm-hmm. You have caterings. People get married. People die. People have business meetings. There's all sorts of ways.
You had a kitchen truck at one point.
I did movie sets. So I don't know. I didn't see a food truck out here. I guess we're going to feed our crew out of our fixings. But yeah, so I did movie sets for a number of years. I had 2 large mobile kitchens. I was actually
you had 2 of them.
I had 2. I was actually a teamster for that because you had to be.
Wait
a
a minute. Lawyer, teamster, chef.
I knew where all the bodies
and we both know how to cut meat.
And we know how to cut the meat. So yeah, so you know, that's just barely scratching the surface. I also did food writing. You know, I did food writing at the San Francisco Chronicle for a summer as an internship.
Oh.
And
how was that?
That was great. I was in San Francisco during the .com, and it was a bustling city. People were having fun. There were lots of great restaurants. Most of what I did was recipe testing.
Okay. You didn't do the reviews on restaurants? Or?
No, that was Michael Bauer was a reviewer back then, and he pretty much owned that part of the business. But I got to watch him work. I got to see him. I got to eat meals with him. So, you know, exposure across the board.
What about authoring cookbooks?
Cookbooks. You know, there's a lot of people out there cooking online. You know, TikTok, Instagram. Some people putting cookbooks together. I think that's another good venture. The market's a little tougher now. People don't buy as many books as they used to.
Yeah.
But, you know, most people can't cook like we cook. You give us some food, we turn it into something. Most people will want a recipe. So if you can put a great cookbook together, I think there's always going to be a market for those types of things.
I'm trying to talk you into doing
I
a
know,
video
you're working
cookbook.
on it.
Huh?
Yeah, we're going to.
Did you like the way I slid that in there?
I saw that video cookbook. I think that might be the next venture we undertake.
I
right?
think we should attack that. You know?
I think there's
we got a good tester right here who'll test all our recipes.
I saw you looking for some bacon earlier. Yeah, we'll hit that.
He knows where
a
it's
little
at.
bit later.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is that I learned something from you where you said, above all, as a chef, you've got to be a good manager. You've got to know how to manage. You've got to motivate people.
Right.
You have to not only manage them, but occasionally, as a chef, you have to school them a little bit on maybe a technique or a recipe that you want, a technique that you want done within that recipe. But what I think is interesting is the number of chefs that I've read about that traveled the world. Chef Rakout is one of them, where he would go in and turn a catering operation around.
Sure.
And so he basically, I think he said he went to 11 different countries at one point in time in his career.
Yeah.
That's wild. That being a chef would give you that kind of exposure.
Well, no matter where you go in the world, people are cooking. There's all sorts of opportunities. I've had students work on cruise ships. I've had them go. A good friend of mine, he just got back. He just did that in Hawaii for 5 months, where he was turning around a hotel restaurant. Yeah. And it's a great job. Before that, he was in the Keys over the winter.
That's a different career, though, when you're in a hotel catering operation. I mean, that's big. That's 500 plates.
A lot of plates, a lot of moving parts, and that definitely takes those management skills, right? It's a lot of time and energy, and a lot of focus. You don't get. Unfortunately, sometimes when you get that level, you don't get to cook so much.
Yeah. True. You're managing.
You're managing.
Yeah.
And that's when you really got to depend on your team. You got to have that right team around you, and you got to be able to know how to motivate them. That carrot and the stick, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of both sometimes.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. And it's the kitchen can be controlled chaos, at times, and then sometimes it's just chaos,
I think controlled chaos is our best case scenario.
Well, back when I was helping out my operating partners in one restaurant, he would say, keep the chaos to a minimum. That was his goal.
That was the goal. 'Cause it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Right? Too many moving parts. Food's food. Everything we do is a little bit different every time. We think we know what we're doing, and then
something changes. Yeah.
Well, and every ticket that clicks through the little clicker, that's a different combination of dishes. So every one requires a good timing and good coordination between people, and usually a little bit of chaos. But I don't know that I would like being in a kitchen without a little chaos, right?
I mean, that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
It's in there, the noise, the laughing, just having a good time while you're doing it, keeping everybody loose. I always thought that was one of the key things. My operating partner in those 3 restaurants was really good at keeping it light.
Yeah.
He could be firm, but he kept it light, and he kept everybody, just constantly in motion.
Well, you've been in class with me. I think that's the goal I try to aim for, is to early on, first few weeks, be pretty tough, stern, set the parameters. But then as the semester goes along, same thing. Try to lighten it up a little bit, because ultimately we're cooking food.
Yeah.
We cook with love. You can taste love in the food.
Absolutely.
So if
That's
we're
what
not
it's about.
gonna,
It's got to come from here.
It does, and if it doesn't, then we lose something, right?
And just talk a little bit about this. Not all chefs are good cooks.
Not all chefs are good cooks, and not all good cooks are good
Yeah,
chefs. Right? Yeah, because again, we talked the management piece, right? Chef really is the boss. They're the manager of the space. So I had a student just ask me a couple days ago, I think it was yesterday, asked me, what's it take for me to be a chef? Somebody told me I can get a certification. I'm like, no, you can't get it. You can get a certification and you can put the title on your jacket, but that doesn't make you a chef. Chef is being able to manage that chaos and keep that at a minimum, run that kitchen efficiently so that things get out the door. Maybe you don't even touch the food anymore, but you have people around you that can do that piece, and you manage to get all the other parts together.
One thing I financed in this industry, I financed, I don't know how many restaurants in 42 plus years, but one of the things I financed was a large industrial kitchen, and this was specifically built for the airlines. That's what they supplied.
Okay.
So it was roughly 100,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Okay, lots of cooler space.
Right.
And what I noticed was when I was there, those jobs were narrowed down so specifically per person.
Yes.
They would have one item that they were responsible for in all of that. It was very quiet. When it was in operation, it was very quiet. And I think that's that sort of hyper focus on.
And that's a different operation, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't require that much communication in the moment with the people around you, because like you said, they have a specific task. You focus on your task, complete the task, go back to your list, do the next task. So it is a little more individual in that process, which is good. And that's a great career path for some people. Some people don't like that chaos. They don't like to be on a line where we're all running around like crazy people and trying to make sure everything comes together at that last second. So I have lots of students that's a good pathway for them.
Where do most of them go when they graduate? What's like the prevailing wind? Where does it push them?
Probably most end up in restaurants to start. They get that exposure. Some will end up in more industrial settings, catering companies, things like that, where they're doing more production cooking.
Right.
I have students in every size kitchen. Some kitchens 2 or 3 people in there cooking.
Oh, really?
Some in, I've got students down here at Sandia, just down the street from you, or I've got students at the convention center. Or
who are the students down here? Are they in the new sports book?
Victor, yeah, one of them is in the new sports book. Yeah, Victor's in the new sports book.
I need to tell him that I was your student.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That I don't know. He's in my student. He's in my class right now too, so I can. I'll mention it to him.
Yeah.
Are you a regular?
We go down. First of all, this is an example of somebody that you can tell cares is in the back.
Yeah.
He smoked a brisket, and it was one of the best smoked briskets I've ever had. I mean, it was spot on. And I noticed that the staff there, they're very, very competent wait staff. I mean, they can tell you about anything that's on that menu. And I asked this one waiter, I said, "Are you a cook?" He says, "Well, yeah, I cook, but I'm not like that guy in the back."
Right.
And I thought that was interesting, and he says, "But he's a real good teacher."
Yeah. Well,
that's to me that told me.
That's part of
lot.
being a chef too,
Yeah.
right? We're teaching people at that level
Right.
too. So sometimes I make the distinction between I teach, right? So I'm going to teach you how to saute. I'm going to teach you the science behind saute or grill or braising that we're doing today. Most of the time in those settings, they're doing a little more training. Right? I need you to do these 10 things over and over and over again and do them all consistently. So it may or may not give them the background. That's the advantage of being in culinary school,
Yeah.
right? I give you the background, which you don't always have time for because our industry's tough. It's been pretty understaffed since COVID. And
Fun fact, 60% of all the restaurants that closed during COVID did not reopen.
yeah,
That's a big number for an industry.
that's a big number. Yep.
To talk a little bit about food trucks, is that a worthwhile venture or is there too much competition out there right now?
That's a really good question.
Because we've got
I
one
think-
chef at school that's trying to get his truck off
I
the
think
ground.
there's always opportunity if you're better than the competition at what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I think there's a market for food trucks. I think it's reached maybe a little saturation, but there's still opportunity for people that do something a little unique and really kind of get in there and do it better.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say the same thing about restaurants.
Everybody's
There's a lot
kind of tired of
restaurants.
tacos right now.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of restaurants too, right? You say, well, do we have enough restaurants? Do we ever have enough good restaurants?
well, I harp on this. I don't think, other than Vernon's, that there's really a good, high-quality steakhouse in this town.
Yeah.
I put Vernon's at the top of the list, and they're the only ones on it.
Right.
I think that's something that one of your students ought to consider, because I can't open the 6th restaurant.
No.
So.
No.
And the interesting thing is, you come out of school, and you're holding a set of skills in your hand.
Right.
And I think it's important to talk a little bit about the fact that, it doesn't cost you a fortune. I mean, it could if you went to some of these
Sure.
other schools.
Yeah, not coming through community college.
But C&M, great program. It's super affordable, and you walk away with a set of skills in your hand, which you can't say about other college educations. Okay.
Right.
I think you get educated to a certain extent. For $100,000. Hey, there's a lot of books, but
Yeah.
It's expensive. And here you come ready to go to work.
Right.
You don't really have to look because you're so much
There's
in demand.
so many opportunities right now, and that's why I try to talk to the students, different students. What do you want to do? So we'll talk about. Well, I want to cook in a restaurant. Well, what type of restaurant? How many restaurants are in Albuquerque?
400.
400. or more. When we started adding food trucks in and everything else, that's a lot of restaurants. They're all very different. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do fine dining? Do you want to work in a steakhouse like Vernon's? Do you want to go to Campo and work in that more fine dining, farm to table type of place? Do you want to work in somewhere that is more of a corporate chain because you want to move around?
Right.
So you go to a hotel, you go to a Hyatt property or a Marriott property. Now you have the opportunity to move anywhere in the world. There's a Hyatt property. So it depends on where do you see yourself in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and then follow that. Make it a pathway. Don't just go to the first restaurant that'll hire you, because almost any of them will hire you right now.
Yeah, for sure. No, this has been great. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks. That's
good.
super. We're giving them good advice. So, all right, let's get back to chasing the flames.
Chasing the flames, chasing the flames.
Need custom shirts, polos, or promotional gear? Fast, affordable, and with zero hassles? At Turbo Threads, we offer digital printing and embroidery with low minimums and no setup charges. Whether you're outfitting a team, promoting your business, or just want a standout custom shirt, we've got you covered. Quick turnaround, quality you can trust. Located right here in Rio Rancho, Turbo Threads, your one-stop shop for custom apparel and promo products. Visit turbothreads.com or call 505-999-1234 today, because great-looking gear shouldn't wait.
Let's get back to chasing the flames. Chef Audra's going to fry some baby potatoes. And we're using our big cast iron pan again. We've had these guys. What we're gonna do is we're gonna fry these, and then we're gonna finish them in the grill, okay? So they'll bake in there for a little while in indirect heat. But we're gonna smash them, okay? So after these are fried, they will be smashed, and then they will be roasted a little bit. We'll get some nice caramelization on there. This is one of my favorite dishes of late. Keep cooking this on family night Sunday dinners, and nobody's complained yet, okay? So I think it's gone over. I'm getting better at it, but it's not an easy, simple cook. The technique is you've got to rotate around to your hot spots, and you have to make sure that all your potatoes are moving in the same kind of direction. They're getting the brownness, that caramelization very evenly one to the other, and you just want to make sure that you're getting a good cook, okay? A good cook here. So she's going to rotate these guys around, tell them what you're doing, and look at that, looking pretty, looking very pretty.
Get some good color on the cut side of these potatoes, then we'll flip them and finish cooking them. But our goal right now is just to get these nice and crispy.
And looking good, looking good.
I know.
We need a little more oil there, maybe?
I think so.
Just a little right here.
It's a little dry on that side. And then I'll shift them in the pan a bit just so they cook a little even. I mean, this is a big pan, and we're sharing it with 4 burners here.
We love it. We love this new stove. 6 burner, 120,000 BTUs. That's a lot of heat, let me tell you. And the interesting thing about this is we're using 4 burners right now, so we've got 4 separate hot spots we're rotating the potatoes through. Look at that. Look at that. They're frying up nicely.
And, you know, as we fill the pan, it's going to take a little bit longer to get that browning
These are going to shrink,
we'll be there.
okay? So as she cooks, they automatically make more room for you to add more.
Yeah. I love potatoes.
It's like a drug.
I hope you love potatoes.
Face it. Yeah, you know, my doctor told me you ought to eat less potatoes. You need to be a linebacker, not a lineman. This is when I weighed 100 pounds more.
Oh, okay.
And potatoes were practically French fries, baked potato, potatoes like these, mashed potatoes.
Potatoes au gratin.
Oh, au gratin is one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh.
And
Potatoes lyonnais.
Texas fries.
Oh, yes.
Texas fries.
Yeah, it's hard to mess up a potato.
It really is. You got to work at it.
And you could do this with multicolored potatoes, little baby ones. You could leave them whole. You could use fingerling potatoes. You could change up the cut on these. There's just a million different ways to.
Now, if you're noticing the close-up shot here, look at every space there. We're bubbling. Look how even that bubbling is. Okay, that's really important in a fry. You don't want to have, one spot super hot and then another spot cold, and you're just working with that one. We've got 4 separate hot spots, but the heat is very even with cast iron. Okay, that's the beauty of cast iron, is the radiant heat. Okay, it's very easy, very even around there. I love this pan.
I know, right?
We're getting there.
We're
getting there.
We are. Patience is a virtue, right?
Patience is something that nobody in this crew has. So we want it now. We want it now.
We definitely want it now.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's nice and even.
Should we work on the seasoning a little bit for this?
I think what I like to do is just hit it with a little bit now. Okay.
Okay.
Just so that the flavor gets in the oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds
and then
great.
we'll do the real seasoning in just a little bit. When we're done, then we'll hit them with a nice big splash.
A little salt and pepper this time,
salt
then?
and pepper, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little.
And I'm taking the bottom, the cap off this time. I feel like it was a rookie punk experiment.
No one noticed. You noticed.
All right. So yeah, just a little salt and pepper, just to get that flavor deep in the potato.
Look at them go.
Oh wow.
We're just a few minutes away. You could really feel that heat.
Oh yeah, see, we're getting there.
We want this kind of golden brown skin. We're close. Look at that. That's the color you're after, okay? So go by your skin tone. When you get there, that's the caramelization. I think that's the best way to explain it, because if you go too dark, it's going to be not crunchy. It'll be that bitter flavor. We just want to get them skin color. That's the key.
I think. Look at the edges of the potato here, how they're beginning to
gorgeous.
Kind of crisp up. Oh, wow.
A little dark gray.
Yep.
Just a tad. I say just let them set.
I think
right?
So. Yeah.
Well, this is Abel, the master baker, at work. He has taken a focaccia bread recipe, modified it a little bit. He'll tell you a little bit more about it. But I watched a program, another cooking program, like I don't watch those at all, hardly. That's not true, I'm lying. And I saw this recipe and I showed it to Abel. He started to watch the show, and it was a very unique way to cook bread in a wood-fired oven. Now, that might sound like, why would you even bother doing that? Why wouldn't you use your convection oven over there to cook bread? Because it adds flavor. And that's the way this guy cooked it on his show, was he had a beautiful beast himself, and he cooked this bread and it looked like art, right?
Oh yeah.
And then beautiful. Abel goes and cooks yesterday and sends me pictures, but he doesn't bring any over for me to try. So I don't know how good this bread really is, but we're going to find out today. It's going to be wonderful.
Can't
it's going to be
surprise,
wonderful.
George.
Yeah, I mean, that's why not surprise the chef once in a while? So Abel, tell him what you got here.
All right, so as George was saying, this is a focaccia bread recipe. However, I modified it. So in here, I have flour, yeast, and salt. And I'm going to add water. Now, the key difference that I did is I'm using a little less water to keep it a little more square, because I'm actually shaping it like sandwich bread, as opposed to regular focaccia, which has come a big flat loaf.
They were beautiful, by the way.
And the reason I chose focaccia bread recipe is because it would hold a similar kind of flat shape that George was asking for.
Look at this. He's folding it in. You don't want to overwork it because then you'll activate all the gluten, right?
Yeah, you don't want to work it too much. You do want to work it because it is a bread dough, but yeah, you don't want to work too much because then you'll end up tough as opposed to
you want to be
light,
friendly
airy
to it,
texture,
right?
Yeah.
Look at that, so quick. Now this will rise, correct? For what, an hour?
Hour and a half to 2 hours is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And kind of looking for about double in size, more or less.
Good looking dough there. I see what you're saying. You want it drier.
Yeah.
You don't want that kind of sloppy dough, bread dough.
And then also, too, this will get a lot of oil the second time I go to mix it up. Because I'll stretch it and fold it a little bit one more time before finally baking it. And that second time that I go to stretch it, I'll add olive oil on top, as well as a little bit on the pan. That helps to build a nice crust on it.
Makes nice color, too.
The reason I'm using a spatula instead of my hands is because the dough can be very sticky until I put the oil on there.
Looks great.
Now you can see I got a nice sticky dough that I'll let rest for about 1.5 to 2 hours.
All right, well, we're gonna make a little bit of a mixture for the potatoes when we're done with those. They're still browning a little bit, and then we'll smash those and we'll put them in here with this spice mixture, which is gonna be white pepper. And this is totally to taste. You know, it depends on how peppery you like things or how spicy you like things. We're gonna see that paprika, Hungarian paprika again. I like paprika. Adds a lot of flavor without being overly spicy. Some garlic powder. And you know we like garlic around here. And my favorite, smoked paprika. So a little more paprika there. Okay. I'm gonna add a little rosemary because rosemary is just perfect with potatoes. Quite a bit of rosemary. All right, and a little more salt. I did add salt and pepper to the potatoes in the pan, but I want a little more here. Potatoes seem to absorb all of that. And then some more fresh ground pepper. Okay, and I want to make sure all those clumps are out of here. Okay, toss the mixture a little bit. And then when those potatoes are done, it'll just go right in here. We'll toss it and finish it with a little parsley.
Okay, so now the dough has rested for a while, and we're gonna do a little toss on it and add some olive oil to it. First, though, go down the sides, pull it up, and you fold it into the center. You're gonna go around a few times. Helps stretch and activate the glutens. Now you're gonna want to give it a pretty generous coating. And now we're gonna let it rest for about 30 more minutes before I throw it into the beast. Alright, so now as you can see, our focaccia has risen nicely. And now we're gonna poke it and deflate it a little bit. So you can see it lost a lot of that air. And now what we're gonna do is put a little bit of olive oil down in our pan. That'll help get a nice crisp bottom and add a little bit more flavor. And now with this, you can kind of make whatever shape you want, but in this case, George has requested that I make more of like a long sandwich type of bread. That's a little too big of a ball. Now you just kind of stretch it out, slowly work it. You want it to be fairly flat. You can just lay it down on your pan. Leave a little bit of room, but you don't have to worry too much. Normally with bread, they'll separate even if they bake together a little bit. You just don't want them touching when you initially lay them down. And after stretching and you put them down, they'll pull back together a little bit. That'll be okay. You don't have to be perfect shaped.
Chasing the flame.
This is the commercial grade triple threat. This is what goes in restaurants. When you're a restaurant owner and you want to get into wood-fired cooking, you got to get a smoker, you got to get a wood-fired grill, then you got to go get a wood-fired oven. 3 huge appliances, 3 penetrations or adjustments to your hood. No, you get all 3 right here. And guess what? 1 penetration. Now, what does it do? Well, we can grill. We can turn this into an oven and do pizza, or we can smoke from here. This is a fantastic device that allows restaurants to get in the wood-fired business very inexpensively and very quickly. Check it out on chasingtheflames.com. The big commercial grade. We call it the triple threat, and it's dynamite.
Hi, I'm George Lovato Jr., the on-call outdoor chef. And listen, thank you for watching Chasing the Flames. We have a ton of fun making it. But I want to remind you, watch out for episode 4 next week on Comcast Channel 26 at 6 p.m. every Thursday. We thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
This is a New Mexican seafood boil. Now, I know that sounds kind of like odd, but I just wanted to come and say hi this season and show you my big prawns.
So when you flip it over, you'll have your caramel, and then the flan, and then your cake is actually going to be the bottom.
So you never want to run out. That's why I've got this big monster here. And so here we go. Let's fire it up. Now we're going to add some beer. So we've got crab legs in there, and everybody is going to get a lobster today, or maybe half one if you're bad.
Let's get back to chasing the flames together.
Let's get back to chasing the flames. All right, here we are. We're smashing our potatoes. We've taken them out of the fry now. And now we're going to take this spatula, I'm telling you. And you're just going to put your hand there and boom, then you get a nice smash.
It's beautiful smash. Yeah.
Boom, there's another one. And then we're going to get these on the grill, okay? So go ahead, Audra. Rock and roll here.
Oh, yeah.
Give you more
I
space.
can get in on the smashing?
Sure.
You know what? I'll just go right there a little bit, if that's all right.
Boom.
Oh, gosh. Anybody can smash. Except for that one.
There you go.
Yeah. I love that.
Oh, man down. You're gonna lose a few along the way.
1 or 2.
There we go. Smash-a-rooney.
Oh, that's, some of these are just so tender.
I know. Look at that. Look at that.
That's beautiful.
Look at that. Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Oh, my gosh.
Ta-da!
You see how the skin has also gotten this nice golden glow to it?
Yeah.
That's what we really want, isn't it?
That's perfect. Doesn't get any better than that.
No.
Now, this is the fun part. We have our seasoning that you saw Audra put together. Now we're going to season these guys semi-liberally. Perfect, 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 perfect.
Gosh, it smells so good.
And we're going to do some fun stuff here with some clarified butter. We're just going to set this in a couple strategic places in the pan. Okay, just like that. This is simple. It's a very simple dish. very rustic. And we'll put one over there. And we're gonna, when we finish this dish, we will add a little bit of chopped parsley over the top, make it look pretty. But this butter is gonna melt in there and it's gonna give it a tremendous flavor, okay? And we're, like I said, we're using clarified butter. So now we're gonna bake this in the grill for a little while. We'll give it about 30 minutes. That'll be a nice finish, and we'll zhuzh it around, mix it around with the butter, get the butter everywhere, because everything's better with butter, okay? So in the grill we go.
Bet.
All right, so now we're making biscochitos. So in here, I just have some flour and some lard. I'm gonna start mixing it up using a potato masher or pastry cutter, whichever your preference is. Then we also got some baking powder, a little bit of salt, some sugar. Now we're gonna make sure that the lard is well blended up. Should be sort of coarse. Okay. And now we're gonna add our moisture, which I have one. Whoa, shoot. That thing completely busted open on me. Never had an egg just crack open like that on me. Now we have an egg, and we're gonna add a little bit of brandy, or you can use water if you don't want to use brandy. Now you're gonna want to bring it together till it's a dough. Now we have our dough ball, and we're ready to roll it out and cut it. All right, so now it's time to roll out the biscochitos. You just take out a little ball. As you can see, I've already floured my surface. You're just gonna carefully roll it out. It can be a fairly sensitive dough, so it'll crack on you. Roll it out about as thin as you want. I'd like to go about a 1/4 inch or so. Now you can take whatever cookie cutter you want. If it's holidays, you can use gingerbread cookies. In this case, I'm just using a little bowl to create some nice round cookies. Ooh.
Picture.
That one's a little small. That'll just get reformed. And now the most important part about a biscochito is you have a little cinnamon sugar mix. You're just going to throw one side down. And now onto your pan, which I like to use parchment for. Makes it easier to clean up that pan later on.
All right, Chef Audra and I are going to cook some scallops. One of Phil Fulham, one of our producers, favorite fish, shellfish. And here we go. We got our hot oil. Now, we're doing something that you may not know. And that is that we just got through cooking some potatoes, frying some potatoes in here, the smashed recipe. And this is now a little added oil, but it's the same pan because all it has in it is a little bit of salt and pepper. There's no sense in dumping this oil out. It's perfectly good oil. The pan is hot, and it's going to make pretty colors. We'll rock and roll, girl. Look at that. Nice fry. Same thing that we did with the potatoes. We're going to, the more we add, the more that this pan cools down. So, which isn't a bad thing, okay? But we're going to get a nice even cook. We can do sides too. It doesn't matter. Because they're kind of tall, you know?
They are very tall.
I thought they looked like nice, tall
They're gorgeous
scallops. Because when you get them too, these are going to shrink anyway. Water is going to come out as you fry them. And so they're going to shrink down a little bit. But this is a very delicate protein. And people don't give it enough credit for how delicate it is. You don't really want to cook these that long, okay? You want that same look that you get with shrimp when you cook shrimp, right? There's kind of that opaque center. and the outside has changed color. That's really the same kind of look that we're looking for in the center of the scallop. Okay, this is all technique here. This is there's nothing fancy about this recipe. This is all technique. And so this fry, it's a hot heat, okay? It's a delicate protein, so you take your time and you'll watch it closely. Watch, watch, watch. Ooh, look at that. That is perfect. Hit the other side. There you go. And we're just going to kiss this other side with a little heat. This is just about done, okay? See that color? Wow.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you know the advantage of you and I doing this is we get to taste. Nobody else gets to taste. We get to taste.
No one's looking, right?
Chefs have to taste, right? Got to taste your food.
Of course you do. I don't know why I was looking to see if anyone was watching us taste.
Yeah, exactly. You got to watch this crew anyway.
Oh.
You know, they need a lot of supervision.
All right. A few more to get in here.
That looks great.
Oh, yeah.
Good color. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We're going to season these as well. We're going to add a little salt and pepper to them very lightly, and we're going to let them rest in some butter. Again, once they're ready to rest.
Butter makes me so happy.
See that guy right there?
Yeah, you're
That's
ready
got
for
my
him.
name on it.
Oh, wow. All right.
Let's
give it
here.
another little second.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move it there.
Put her right in the oil there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, which one was it?
That one right there.
All right.
I won't take my eye off it.
I'll see. I'm going to be a little more modest than you. I'm going to try this little
Nah,
baby
nah,
piece
go
that
for the
fell
whole
off.
thing.
Only my piece is ready first. It's really hot, but oh my gosh, that's perfect. Are you ready for your piece?
Let me see. Leave it on just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and set it over here now.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay, now to the extent you can see, all right, see we've got nice texture here. It's still a little bouncy, all right? But when you look here, this is actually opaque, okay? And when it gets right there, that's all you want to cook. That's where you want to leave it. It's a little hot for me right now, but it's going to cool off here.
You're getting some good color on these.
Oh, yeah.
I think they like it in the deeper oil.
I think they do. Yeah, look at that. Okay, let's pull that one off. Yeah.
You got it.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, that
That one's off.
ready too.
Yeah. Look at that. That's done.
Wow, I can't wait. Oh wait,
That's
I didn't.
I think mine's ready. Perfect cook.
Nice. All right. Oh gosh, look at the color on that
Oh.
one. That one's perfect. I think we're good.
Yeah, and remember when we started how big these scallops. Remember we said they were tall. Look how they've shrunk down. They've lost a lot of moisture.
Quite a bit. Here, should give this one to our friends.
No, that's mine.
It's for you.
Delicious. Good job. We're done.
Irene. From mushrooms or onions. Bon appetit.
Smells good.
Oh, there you go.
We're talking.
Thanks for joining us on Chasing the Flames. We had a lot of fun today. We did a fry, a sear, a smoke, a braise, and a bake, all in one show. Bunch of techniques. Hope you enjoyed it. On episode 4, we're going to do a seafood boil. Wait till you see that. That's going to be fun. So come back and visit us at Chasing the Flames. and watch episode 4, the New Mexico Seafood Boil. See you again. Let's start chasing the flames together.
Hello, George. It's Jaime. So, how did it go?
Yes, they're having a great time. Super time. You can hear them in the background.
So how did my French clients like the coq au vin? And George, you better have cooked it right, because
everything.
my French clients, they pay me big bucks, I pay you big bucks, and they're very picky. You didn't set them on fire, did you? You didn't set the clients on fire, did you?
Great,
Did everyone
boss. I
have
gotta go,
clean
boss.
hands? I hope the staff had clean
Boss, I
hands.
gotta
Did you
get
have
back to
clean
serving your
hands? If they
clients,
didn't have
boss.
clean
Boss,
hands,
I
it's a
gotta go.
disaster. I hope everybody
Can you
looked
let me
clean,
go?
and I hope they washed their hands,
Boss?
George. Lots of washing.
Boss.
I'm chasing the flame.
You have any good potato jokes?
2 potatoes walk into a bar.
Chilies grow across green fields.
And I think
He'll slow man down.
3-second rule.
Yeah.
With a flare, anticipation.
Well, the first
No, 2
potato.
potatoes and a Presbyterian minister walk in a bar. That's the joke.
Okay, all right.
Now I got to remember the
I was
punchline.
thinking more knock knock, who's there?
Knock, knock, who's there?
I don't know.
Potato.
Potato who?
Potato who?
Well, now you're telling
Bless
the
you.
joke.
It's adjustable. We can just lift this thing a little bit here and it won't come up. Groovy, baby.
I'm co-create the perfect vibe. I'm chasing the flames, chasing the flames. I'm chasing the flames. Chasing the flames. I'm chasing the flames. I'm chasing the flames.
Look at the size of this thing. Look how thick it is. This is a wet-aged tomahawk steak.
I'm chasing the flame, chasing the flame.
You know, last season, we never really spent a lot of time showing you what it's like in the prep process, the prep stage of getting everything ready. Look at the color here, everybody. This is really pretty stuff.
Oh yeah, we got beautiful caramelization. They rose a little bit. And those should be wow good.
There we go. Now the little thin guys.
And Chef has asked me to make this marinade with you for the ribs today.
And we'll get this big guy in there. And we'll set it here. We're gonna start it off. We're gonna get the heat radiating on those bones into that really good, scrumptious rib meat. It takes a village to put this show together and do all the cooks. And we're gonna go around like so. Now you're wondering, grill marking, prosciutto? We're gonna char a little lettuce for our friends. They want a little extra salad.
All right, so I'm just gonna roll them out over here.
The Yakitori grill. You listening to that sizzle? Ooh, wow. And it's just smelling groovy over here.
Chicken's not fatty, but there's fat in the skin, so we're trying to
Yeah.
cook that fat out. I think we have a nice crispy skin. Now we're gonna put a little smoke on it. To add that little something special that you don't usually see in this recipe. Our pot is simmering here with all of our aromatics, our veggies, our red wine.
Look at every space there. We're bubbling. Look how even that bubbling is. Now this will rise, correct? For what,
Yeah.
an hour?
Hour and a half to 2 hours.
You know we like garlic around here. And my favorite, smoked paprika.
And then we're gonna get these on the grill. You don't really wanna cook these that long. I think mine's ready. Pepper cook.
Bon appetit.
Smells good.
Yeah.
This is a New Mexican seafood boil. Now I know that sounds kind of like odd, a seafood boil in New Mexico. That's a seeded green chili right there. And there you go. We've got a lot of good stuff here. Chef Audra is going to walk you through this wonderful stuff. But I just wanted to come and say hi this season and show you my big prawns. Now, my wife always says, you know, go get some big prawns. I say, honey, I'm right here. I'm the biggest prawn. Just poach me, please.
So when you flip it over, you'll have your caramel, and then the flan, and then your cake is actually going to be the bottom.
Black pepper all the time. Just about everything you're cooking, you're always going to put some kind of salt and pepper seasoning in it. So you never want to run out. That's why I've got this big monster here. And so here we go. Let's fire it up. All right. Now we're going to add some beer. So we've got crab legs in there. And everybody is going to get a lobster today. Or maybe a half one if you're bad. How's that look? Perfect, perfect. This is about what we need to do when we season it, all right? And we're gonna poke some holes in here, and we're gonna plant a little garlic, a little mint, and these lemon slices are gonna go in there. And then we're gonna cook it on live fire in the coals after we wrap it in a little tin foil.
Now we're going to throw it into the beast, just long enough to try to release some of the aromatics.
A couple cloves of crushed garlic, right in the middle, beautiful.
The meat is shrinking, and so it's pushing out all that garlic, all those lemons that we stuffed deep in that tissue, and it is just gorgeous. Right on. That's pretty. Now, the fun part about carving the leg of lamb is right in the middle. I get to do that. Oh my God. So let's get the salt started. Say that 5 times real fast. Let's get the salt started. I couldn't say Sous chef a few weeks ago. Don't know why. I'm going to press that in again. This is what it looks like, and if you can feel it out here, it's a very significant amount of heat, which is part of what Biscochitos is all about. We want that smooth bite that you get when shrimp is cooked just right. So, chef, take it away. Rock and roll.
Shrimp poaching time. It's already getting pink. So we're just gonna lightly cook, a gentle stir, kind of fold those into the potatoes.
Indirect heat and a lot of smoke. It's one thing about this little pit boss is that it really throws out a lot of smoke. So we're gonna get a very smoky flavor.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get these carrots right on the grill. Nice hot grill, about 450 degrees.
The end cut is always the chef's cut because it's my favorite. Look at this, oh, and we are done. That's prime rib. And I guarantee you this is gonna be wow good.
I'm chasing the flames, chasing the flames. I'm chasing the flames.
And she's she's the newest shoe.
Here, try this.
Now it's time to start eating what the flames.
And then a little later, Chef will finish off at the grill pit thing.
that invoke a different sort of reaction in your favorite plot.
A couple cloves of crushed butter.
This is one of the advantages of being the chef. You get to taste all day long, and this is delicious. This is wow good, but don't tell anybody that I stole some.
I saw it.
Let's get back to chasing. Come on. Let's get back to chasing the flames.
With delight, on call create the perfect vibe.
Hi, this is George Lovato, the On-Call Outdoor Chef. Did you know that Chasing the Flames is streaming around the world in over 100 countries? On iFood TV, Fossum TV, Stash and Relay? We can also be found on chasingtheflames.com, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. But locally, you can watch Chasing the Flames right here on Comcast ProView Channel 26. Thank you for watching. Let's start chasing the flames together.